Hey, Marshall students, how you doing? I hope you've had a great week. I've had a great week. I've been staying active every day. I hope you have too. Practicing your jump roping, practicing some of those yoga stretches. And also I want to say thanks to those kids that joined us on Zoom PE. Had a great time with those guys in all grade levels. If your friends, you're talking to them or you see them or you talk to them on the phone, please remind them of the Zoom PEs and let them know that they should be coming to Zoom PE every week, okay? So today's gonna be just a little bit of a different lesson. We're gonna do a little less physical activity today, and we're gonna be doing a little bit more discussing. And today, the topic of discussion is going to be sugar. That's right. We're gonna talk today about sugar. And there's a lot of different aspects and things to talk about sugar. But basically what we're going to talk about sugar today is we'll be learning about the importance of sugar for your body. We'll be learning the importance of having maybe too much sugar. And we'll be also talking about different aspects of sugar. There's a few things that I want you to take away from today. So I'll start by saying first that a lot of times when we talk about sugar, people think sugar's bad. But I want to let you know that sugar is not bad, all right? I want to make sure everybody knows that. But on the other hand, too much sugar is bad, all right? And it can be very bad for you. So sugar's not bad, but having too much sugar is bad. And that pretty much goes almost with everything. What I try to follow is moderation. If you're doing excess of anything, it's usually not good for your body or your mind. Sugar, if you have too much sugar, it really isn't good for your body and it really messes it up, and we'll talk about some of the ways that happens today. So sugar's not bad, but too much sugar is bad. We will be talking about some products today, some foods that you probably eat, some foods that you've seen other people eat, and we're gonna talk about the sugar content in those. Let's talk about the different names of sugar, because sugar comes in many different names. In fact, there's 56 different names for sugar, okay? And here is a list of some of those names. I didn't put all 56 down, but I put a few of them down. We have dextrose, galactose. That sounds like an outer space sugar. We have lactose. You may have heard of some people being lactose intolerant. Lactose is a sugar. Aspartame, sucrose, corn syrup. Syrup, if you see the word syrup, pretty much you know that is packed full of sugar, is basically liquid sugar, any kind of syrup. We have raw sugar. We have cane sugar. This is some of the sugar we have at our house. We have C&H. This is cane sugar. I'm sure a lot of people use this. This is some organic cane sugar that I like to use. We also have some turbinado, raw cane sugar, which is on my list right over here. The turbinado. We have simple syrup, which is basically liquid sugar. Cane juice, glucose, maltose, saccharin. Fructose is one that you'll hear a lot. And look at this one down here. This is one I want to bring special attention to. It's called high fructose corn syrup. Okay, and when you hear the words high fructose corn syrup, generally what that's going to be is sugar in your drinks. All sodas, like Gatorades and drinks, Coca-Cola, Sprites, all of those sodas all have high fructose corn syrup, and a lot of it. So basically, sugar, by any other name, is still just sugar, all right? So keep that in mind. You'll see a lot of these different names for sugars on the labels of your food, okay? Let me talk about sugar in your food, okay? So when your food gets processed, what happens is a lot of times that the people who process your food add sugar to it. And sugar, it comes in a couple of different categories. There is natural sugar, because you're gonna have sugar in your fruits, like bananas, apples, grapes, mandarin oranges. All of the fruits, they all have sugars in them. Those are called natural sugars. So when you eat a banana, you're getting natural sugars, and those are the sugars that are good for your body, and you can eat a lot of those types of sugars. When we're talking about processed food, things like cereal, bread, any condiments, ketchup, things like that, sodas, those are all processed, and those have what we call added sugars. So you have natural sugars in your food, and those are okay for you. They're good for you. Your body actually uses those sugars. And then there's added sugars in your processed food, and the added sugars tend to be where we get way too much sugar in our body, okay? So the added sugar that are in processed food is the sugar that we need to watch out for, okay? So let me give you a few examples of what I'm talking about. And what I have is I have some products here. And I found some around the house. I actually went to the store and got a couple of products that I see some of the kids at school eating and drinking. So I wanted to include some of those products. And I wanted to show you, basically I want to bring an awareness of how much sugar is in some of our processed food, okay? And the first thing I want to tell you is that when you get a product, and there's gonna be a label on your product. And these are processed products, okay? Anything processed, like this cereal, there's gonna be a label on it, and it's gonna give you the nutritional information on the label. And on those labels, what you'll find is you'll see the total amount of sugar that is in the product, and then they'll also put it on another line, they'll put the added sugar in the product. Now, things like if you had some canned fruit, say for instance, I have some canned mandarin oranges. So the mandarin oranges in the can have some natural sugar in it, and those sugars are good for you. But what I found is that when they do process that food, they put some added sugars in it, and I noticed that those mandarin oranges are in what's called a light syrup. And like I said, if you see syrup, then it's sugar. So there's a lot of added sugar to those mandarins, to that fruit. That's where you're gonna find how much sugar is in your products, is on the package, and you have to look down here, and it might be hard to see there, but right down here is a line that says total sugars, and then it says added sugars, okay? And what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna talk to you about the sugars that we find in some of the products that we eat at home, okay? Before we continue, here's how my visuals are going to work today. I have created a sugar kit, and what I'm gonna do is I am going to show you how much sugar is in your products by using these little sugar packets, okay? So when you look on your label, it's gonna give you the amount of sugar in grams, okay? So you can see that, so this pack of sugar, there's one pack, and it has 4 grams of sugar in it, okay? So if the label says 4 grams of sugar, then that means you're gonna have this much sugar in your product, okay? And also this pack and 4 grams of sugar also equals 1 teaspoon. So I know a lot of people, especially hot tea drinkers, how many teaspoons of sugar would you like in your tea? So this is a teaspoon of sugar, and that is 1 sugar packet, okay? So that is our sugar packet right there, and I am actually gonna start with this product right here. And this is a product that this is Frosted Flakes, and we eat this for breakfast. My son eats this for breakfast. He ate it for breakfast yesterday and today. And so what happens is, in a big box of cereal like this, they also tell you how many servings are in it. And in this box, there's 9 servings. So you get 9 bowls of cereal in this box, okay? And the amount of sugar that is in each of those bowls, this is not for the whole box. This is for 1 bowl. There's 9 bowls in here. So for 1 bowl of Frosted Flakes, there is 23 grams of sugar in 1 bowl, okay? And 23 grams of sugar, if there's 4 grams in each of these sugar packets, that means that there are 6 packets of sugar. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equals 23 grams or 24 grams of sugar, okay? Now, this is for every bowl you eat. For every bowl of cereal you eat, there's gonna be this much sugar. Remember, there's 9 bowls in this box, Okay, that's quite a bit of sugar in your bowl of cereal. And I know some of my cereal, I used to get a bowl of cereal, sprinkle even extra sugar on top to make it even taste better. But what I didn't realize is that there was already 23 grams of sugar in every bowl that I was eating. Now, not all cereal has that much sugar in it. It just, this particular box of cereal does, okay? There are some cereals that have a lot less sugar. There are some cereals that have a lot more sugar, okay? So, there is our Frosted Flakes. There we go. Now, see if we can get that to stay there. Here is some food that we eat at our house. It's oats, okay? And oats have a very, very, very small amount of sugar. In fact, in one serving of these oats, there's 1 gram of sugar. In oats, that sugar is natural sugar. They don't add any sugar to this. So these foods like this are a great alternative to foods like that have a lot of sugar in it. Here is the amount of sugar that is in 1 bowl of oats, and this is a half of a pack, okay? That's a half of a pack. And especially with cereals like this, you can use natural sugars to sweeten it up when it's done. Things like bananas, you throw some apricots in there, or strawberries, or blueberries, or throw any kind of fruit into your Quaker Oats. It sweetens it up. They're natural sugars. It's good for you, okay? Before I continue, I forgot to tell you at the beginning what your body does with sugar, okay? So sugar is pretty important for your body because your body converts sugar into energy, all right? And there's many different types of sugar in your body. Carbohydrates are types of sugars, and your body converts carbohydrates and sugars into energy. So your body does need a little bit of sugar, but it doesn't need a lot of extra sugar. And that's what we're talking about today, is the added sugar in our food, okay? Now, there's the Quaker Oats. Here is, I know some of us, and I put one of these in my son's lunchbox every day, usually 2 or 3, and it is a granola bar, okay? A standard granola bar. And in this granola bar, there are 7 grams in this one small, I know it's not even very big, one small granola bar, there's 7 grams of sugar, and that is about 2 packets. It's a little more than 2 packets, but I put 2 packets on here. But that's a lot of sugar in this little tiny bar, okay? That's a lot of sugar in that little tiny bar, all right? So we have granola bars. The next thing I found was a couple of items that I like to eat at our house. Here's one of them, and it's a cup of noodle. I don't know if you guys can see it's a cup of noodle. Let me go like this. There we go, cup of noodle. All right, here's my cup of noodle. I like these. There's a lot of sodium in these, which is a completely different lesson, the sodium lesson. So you have to be careful with sodium too, which is salt. These have a lot of sodium, but I was surprised that there was any, but there's a very small amount of sugar in these. It is actually 2 grams. Oh, I misread. Oh no, this is right, 2 grams. And so that's a half a pack right there. So 2 grams of sugar in one of those. And the reason I put this up here, it doesn't have a lot of sugar, but I just found it odd that it had sugar at all. You know, you don't think of your soup as having sugar in it. So there's our cup noodle. And speaking of soup, I grew up on these types of soups, Campbell's, okay? Campbell's soups. Now, Campbell's, I know, has a lot of sodium also, and that's another whole story. But I was a little flabbergasted, which means very surprised, to find out in this vegetarian soup, this 1 can of vegetarian soup, there is 20 grams of sugar. And that is 5 of these packs. 20 grams of sugar in this soup. I wouldn't expect there to be any sugar in my soup, but 20 grams, that's a lot. You have to really, and that's added sugar. That's not natural sugar. That's 20 grams of added sugar. And that's the sugar we got to be careful of, okay? I did talk a little earlier about processed food and non-processed food, but processed food is food that's made, it's processed, it's cooked, it's baked. Non-processed food are things like fruits and vegetables, lettuces, things that come just naturally straight from the plant to you, and it hasn't gone through any sort of processing, okay? There's a couple more things here. Condiments. Condiments are things like ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise. I love ketchup, and we use ketchup quite a bit at our house. But I started looking at the labels of all these ketchups, and I was surprised to see how much sugar was in the ketchup. And it was not something that I thought sugar was in at all. So I was surprised to see it. In this bottle, we have, let's see, it says 33 servings. Okay, so there's 33 servings in this. So for every serving, there is 4 grams of sugar. And you can see that that is 2 packets. Oh no, that should be 1 packet, sorry. That should be 1 packet because it's 4 grams, so it's 1 packet. I misinterpreted that. So that's how much, but that's every serving, okay? For this whole bottle, there's 33 packets of sugar. So you have to consider that sugar in your ketchup at all seems to be odd, but there is, okay? Now, here's something that I would expect there to be some sugar in, and that is pudding. I love pudding. I don't get it nearly enough, but I love pudding, and this is vanilla pudding. And this is a small vanilla pudding. I see kids at school with the small ones like this. And in this small pudding, there is 12 grams of sugar, which means there's three sugar packets in this small container of pudding. That's quite a bit of sugar for such a small container. Okay, so moving on. This one, I really wanted to bring attention to everybody because I see these quite often in school, and they are Lunchables. And I gotta be honest with you, I've had Lunchables myself. I didn't at the time realize how much sugar it was in it. I should have known because look at what they have in there. Candy. And look what they have over here. This Capri Suns, those are high in, they have a lot of high fructose corn syrup in them. So you have to be careful about what you're drinking also, and I'm gonna talk about drinks in just a minute. But I was amazed to see how much sugar was in this Lunchable. In this one Lunchable, there are 31 grams of sugar, which means there are 8 packets of sugar. Look at that, 8 packets of sugar in your Lunchable. 8 packs, that's a lot, and that's added sugar. That's all added sugar. Added sugar for the nerds, added sugar for the Capri Suns. So that's a lot of added sugar for a lunch. So keep things like that in mind, okay? Let's put that over here. Okay, now, as we're continuing on here, I'm gonna go through quickly some drink products. And some of these drink products are a lot of drinks that I see people at school drinking. I see a lot of my friends drinking them. And I wanna tell you that most of the drinks, things like soda, Gatorade, most of the drinks that you find are water-based, okay? So it starts with water. And then, guess what they add? Sugar. In drinks, it's mostly high fructose corn syrup, but the base is water. So here's what I've done. I brought, the first drink product is water. And I was looking at the label on the water, and guess what? 0 sugars. So how many packets of sugar in your water? 0. Okay, so this is the best drink to drink, okay? Anytime, all the time, this is the best drink to drink. In fact, any other drink that you drink, your body doesn't process like water. It processes water different than any other drink. It processes other drinks as food as opposed to water. So even though you might be drinking a Gatorade or something like that, your body isn't getting as hydrated as it could be if you were drinking the real good stuff. This is the best stuff, okay? It's got 0 sugar in it. Drink it all the time, okay? I'm gonna put that over there. Here's a few drinks. I want to show you, and again, these are a few drinks. Some of these drinks are ones that I see kids at school drinking. That was the water. It has 0 sugar in it. The next thing I wanted to talk about were things that, products that come, labeled as water, but they're not really water. For instance, this one right here, it's vitamin water, or vitamin water they call it. Now, we'll talk about the whole vitamin thing another time, but, oops, I don't want to show you all this here. But it's water, and they label it as water. It's called water, and it's called flavored water. Just so you know, guess what the flavoring is? Sugar. It is. And in fact, in this product, in this vitamin water, there are 26 grams of sugar, which is 7 packets in this one vitamin water. Okay, and that's flavored water. They flavor it with sugar. Okay, that's how much sugar is in this one vitamin water. Let me go on to my next drink. And this is a drink that I see people drinking a lot at school, and not this particular brand, but at school we have the option at lunchtime to choose milk, or we can choose chocolate milk. And I see quite often, I think more than not, people are choosing chocolate milk. And I think we all know that chocolate is made with sugar. And so as soon as you put that chocolate in your milk, you're now putting sugar into your milk, okay? And this is the brand I found. I found this kind, and I will tell you the truth, I used to drink this quite a bit. There was a period that I would get this. I really liked it. It tasted so good. I think it was all the sugar in it. But it tasted so good, I was getting it a lot. And believe it or not, this chocolate milk has 37 grams of sugar. And 37 grams of sugar is 9 of these packets. So this is something I really, really want you students to think about at school. As you're choosing your milk, you're not just choosing your milk, but you're choosing all the sugar that goes along with it. If you're choosing chocolate milk, okay? Milk actually has some sugars in it, regular milk, but those are natural sugars. This is all added sugars, okay? They add this to your milk. It's all added sugars for your chocolate milk. So keep that in mind as you're choosing your milks at school, please. Here's one that I like to drink, my buddies like to drink, a lot of people like to drink this, and I see a lot of kids at school drinking it too. Look at that, Gatorade. I like it. I think they have a lot of sodium in Gatorade too. They've lowered the sodium over the years, but people believe that if they're drinking Gatorade, they're being more healthy than drinking soda or other things. That's what they think, and I think that's how this has been advertised. This is supposed to replenish your fluids in your body and things like that. But basically, it's water. The base is water, and they add sugar. And in this Gatorade, they have added 55 grams of sugar, which is 14. Look at this, 14 packs of sugar. That is 55 grams of sugar in one Gatorade. That's how much sugar you're getting in one Gatorade, okay? All right, so keep that in mind. That is a lot of sugar. And there is there's one that's just about exactly the same as that, and that is sodas. See the Coca-Cola? Again, the base is water. You look at the label, you look at the ingredients, and they'll say there's water is the very first ingredient. Guess what the second ingredient is? High fructose corn syrup. And in this Coca-Cola, there are 52 grams of high fructose corn syrup right there. 52 grams, and that is 13 of these packs. That's how much sugar is in one Coke. One Coke. That is a lot of sugar, man. That is 52 grams of sugar. So again, first ingredient, water. Second ingredient, high fructose corn syrup. Third ingredient is caramel something for color, to make it the dark color. But there's water, there's sugar, and color. So think about that. And that stuff will hurt your stomach after a while too. I had to stop drinking soda because it hurt my stomach. But what I drink now is bubbly water. I drink the soda without the high fructose corn syrup. In fact, here it is. Look, I just happen to have one. There's only a couple places that have it in the can, but it's bubbly water. It's water with bubbles. And how much sugar is in water? 0. So that's good for you too. It's just like drinking water, but I like the bubbles. They taste refreshing to me. So that's an alternative to drinking soda. Alternative to drinking Gatorade is drinking regular water or bubbly water. You have to be careful. Some of the flavored bubbly waters have sugar in them. So if this is just regular bubbly water. If it was orange flavored bubbly water, all of a sudden they've added the sugar to it for that flavor, for that orange flavor. So that's, oh, there's one more drink I wanted to talk to you about very quickly, and that is smoothies. Now, smoothies seem to be like a very healthy way to get your nourishment, and they are, as long as you use the right products. If you use all fruit and juices to go in there, then you're getting all natural sugars, and that's great. And that usually is what happens when you get them at home. Now, there's a place that my wife likes to go, and it's called Jamba Juice. And so last time she brought a Jamba Juice home, she had a mango Jamba Juice Mango Go-Go is what it's called. And so I was wondering how much sugar there might be in that, and there was quite a bit of sugar added to that. And here's the cup. I saved her cup. I have the cup, and in that cup, this big of a smoothie, there was 66 grams of sugar. And this is what 66 grams of sugar looks like. It is 17 packets. It's almost as tall as me. There it is. 66 grams in one smoothie. So you need to be careful of what you're drinking and what you're getting. You can get smoothies that have 0 added sugar, but you have to be careful because a lot of times they put sugar in them to make them taste better for us, okay? And granted, they do taste better, but if you get too much sugar, it's just not good for you, okay? So smoothie is, you have to be careful. You can make a healthy smoothie, just make sure you use all vegetables and juices, and those are natural sugars. It's all good. I'm only gonna talk about a couple more products, okay? And then there's a couple other things I wanna say before we go. I had to go into the candy realm. Okay, and so I just brought a couple of candies, and here's one. And this is a Snickers bar. See the Snickers? So that's a Snickers bar, and the Snickers bar has 28 grams of sugar. And this is a small one. This is not the king size, this is the regular small one. And that is 28 grams, and that is 7 packs of sugar. I don't even know how they get all that sugar in there, but look at how much sugar that is. That's a lot of sugar right there for that one small little candy bar. There's one more piece of candy that I wanted to show you, and I know you like them. I like them too. Who doesn't like sour gummy bears, right? I mean, come on, sour gummy bears are the best. Unless you have sour gummy worms, which might be better than sour gummy bears. But ladies and gentlemen, this one small pouch of gummy bears has an astounding 76 grams of sugar. 76 grams of sugar is 19 packs of sugar. Look at all this sugar, and I know you and I could eat this whole pack in one sitting with no problem whatsoever. But look how much sugar we're getting when we eat that one pack. One pack. Okay, so that is a lot of sugar. Now, I only have one more product to talk to you about, and that is, remember earlier when I was talking about the mandarin oranges in the light syrup? Well, I have those the mandarin oranges in the light syrup, and they're right here. See them right there? I love these. My son loves these too. And when I looked on the label and saw how much sugar there was in these, I had to double look because I couldn't believe how much there was. Now, there are natural sugars in the mandarin oranges slices, okay? So not all of this is added sugar, but you could look right here on the label. It'll tell you how much the regular sugar is and tell you how much the added sugars are. So it looks like about a quarter of it is natural sugars, and about 3/4 of it is added sugars, okay? But what I wanted to show you was that it is in syrup, in light syrup. And anytime that anything is in syrup, syrup is basically liquid sugar, okay? So you know it's gonna have a high sugar content when you see the word syrup. Again, the mandarin slices have natural sugar, cool. But the added sugar is the light syrup. And in this little jar, which I will eat in one setting because that's what I do, there is 90 grams of sugar. Actually, I don't know if I'm gonna eat these anymore, knowing that. 90 grams of sugar in this. This is the heaviest sugar item that I have today. That's 22 packets of sugar. Look at all that sugar. They're even sticking together. There's so much sugar. In this little can of mandarin slices, there's that much sugar. Now, about this much of it is added sugar. There's a little bit of natural sugar, which is okay, but look at all this added sugar. That's all extra sugar that you and I do not need, okay? Now, those are the products. You can see there is a lot of sugar, and these, I don't even have the biggest products out here. There is a lot of sugar in our processed foods. And they add it in there so it tastes better. And yeah, it works, it does taste better, but it's so overwhelmingly bad for us. In fact, I want to tell you what is a healthy amount of added sugar, because I don't expect you to go have no sugar. I'm not saying that having no sugar is the healthiest thing, because it's not. Your body needs sugar. But there is an average amount of sugar that is healthy. If you are between the ages of 2 and 18, which most of you watching are, if you're between the ages of 2 and 18, then a healthy amount of sugar, where did I put that sugar? Oh, there it is right there. A healthy amount of sugar is actually one more than this, is 6. 6. I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but add one more. I don't think I can hear. I'll add one more real quick. So 6 packets or 6 teaspoons of sugar, added sugar, okay, not natural sugar. We're not even counting the bananas, oranges, apples, blueberries. We're not counting the sugars in those because those are natural sugars. This is added sugars that you can have. If you are between the ages of 2 and 18, you will be in your healthy zone if you don't eat more than 6 teaspoons of added sugar a day. Okay, 6 teaspoons. Say, Coach Neiner, that doesn't sound too bad. I mean, that's doable, right? That is doable as long as you're thinking about what you're eating and drinking. Because as you can see, if I was to splurge and eat this Snickers bar, okay, this is how much added. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 packs of added sugar, 6 teaspoons. So great, I can have this today. I can eat this. But I have to realize that I can't eat any more added sugar after that the rest of the day. So if I wanted to come over here and I wanted to have a little bit of ketchup on my French fries, I have to remember, oh man, if I eat ketchup on my fries, I already had that Snickers, I'm going to be having more than 6 teaspoons of added sugar a day. And that's not healthy for me, okay? And other things, like your bowl of cereal. You had breakfast this morning, you've had all the extra added sugar you can have for the day. So when you go to school, guess what? You can't choose chocolate milk. You shouldn't, because you know you're going to have too much added sugar in your diet, okay? Now, boy, I have been talking about sugar and about added sugar, natural sugar, and too much sugar. But I want to tell you what happens to your body if you do eat too much sugar. Well, some of the immediate effects are you can get hyper, your energy levels do go up, sometimes too high. My daughter, as she was growing up, we knew when she had a lollipop or she ate a piece of candy, we knew right away because her energy levels went through the roof every time she would have just a little bit of sugar. So when we were feeding her, we made sure that her diet didn't have very much sugar in it. And when it came to, a candy bar or a lollipop, in the middle of the day or whenever, and most of the time it was no, because we knew it affected her dramatically, okay? But now let's talk about the long-term effects. The long-term effects are what's really important here. Your eating habits, you're learning your eating habits now as you're young. Your parents are helping you with that. You do have decisions that you can make on the things that you eat and your diet. When I say your diet, I'm talking about the foods that you eat, no matter what it is. So you need to be in control of what you eat. And I know as a young person, it's not always easy because your parents, they go grocery shopping, they make your food. But believe me, they'll listen to you. If you start talking about, hey, this has too much sugar in it, if I eat too much of this, it's too much sugar, they'll listen to you. And they will change your diet, and hopefully they will, and they'll maybe help with that a little bit, but you have to talk to them about it. They're not gonna do it on their own. You have to talk to them about it and ask them about it, and more than just once, probably over and over again. Go shopping with them. Show them the label on some of these things. Show them the sugar content. Show them the added sugar content. And believe me, they'll listen to you, okay? Now, the other things, the long-term problem with having too much sugar is if we're having mass amounts of all this sugar every day and we go on and on and on and on, there's quite a few things that will happen to your body in a bad way. Over long periods of time, you could develop heart disease. You could develop liver disease. When you get too much added sugar in your diet over long periods of time, these are diseases that are caused by that. Liver disease, heart disease, diabetes, which is too much sugar in your body. There are other things, high blood pressure. And there's others. Those are just 4 of the main ones that you want to avoid, because if you do get high blood pressure, it affects your life. If you get diabetes, it affects the way you live. Then you'll be forced to eat less sugar at that point. And in the end, if added sugar is a huge part of your diet, basically what's going to happen is your life is not going to be as long as it could be. Okay, a lot of people end up getting diabetes, getting high blood pressure, liver disease, heart disease, because of the mass amounts of added sugar in our diet. I do understand one thing, in that is our society in the past has started adding sugars. Like in the 80s, in the 70s and 80s, they started adding mass amounts of sugars into our food. And that's why they have the laws about the labels. That's why they have labels on there, so that now we can look at the labels, find out how much things like added sugar are in our food, and we can make smart choices for ourselves, okay? If there's too much sugar, like I love these, but I'm seriously thinking about taking this out of my diet. Just because this is just astounding. It's astounding. But so those are the things that you need to talk about or think about for yourself. Think about the long term and think about the short term also. Okay. Let me see. There's a few things that I wanted you to take away from this today, and let's see what my notes were. Good. I'm gonna wrap this up. You've been listening a lot. I know we didn't get physical activity in today, but I thought that this sugar lesson, the sugar kit lesson, was really, really important for you to hear. And it was actually fun getting it together. Oh, I wanted to give credit to my colleague, Coach Brucker over at Sunset View Elementary School. He's the one that loaned me his sugar kit in the past. He was the one that taught me this information so that I could pass it on to you. So thanks, Coach. I appreciate that a lot. Okay, here's the takeaways that I want you to take away today. Are you ready for it? Number one takeaway: sugar is not bad. Too much sugar is bad, okay? Too much sugar is bad. So, and when I'm talking about too much sugar, I'm talking mostly about the added sugar. So, takeaway number one: sugar is not bad, but too much sugar is bad for your body, okay? Especially in the long term. Good. I wanted to also, the other takeaway was I wanted you to be aware of how much sugar is in these products, okay? Look at all the added sugar that are in these products. Some of you may not have realized that. You drink a Coke every day or a soda every day. You may not have realized you were getting this much sugar out of that one drink, okay? So hopefully that will have brought some awareness to some of you. The other thing is that I wanted you to take away these 2 things, or these 2 more things. Those are 4 things I wanted you to take away. This is the amount of added sugar that is okay for you to have every day, okay? 6, actually there's one more, I don't know where it went, but there's 6. So 6 teaspoons, okay, or 6 of these packets. That's okay, that's a healthy version of your diet today, okay? But remember, this comes really quick when you're eating products like this. So you have to really, really think about what you're eating and when you're eating it, okay? But that's how much added sugar is okay to have in your diet every day, all right? And the last thing is I want to talk about, again, just touch on the base that the long-term effects of too much added sugar can really shorten your life. It could make your quality of life lower than it is, because if I have a good quality of life, I'm exercising, I'm physical activity, I have good relationships, everything's going well, and then all of a sudden I develop a disease, one of those, a heart disease, because of the added sugar. Well, now because of that heart disease or that liver disease, I might not be able to do some of the things that I love to do. I might not be able to go surf or go skateboarding because of my heart. So those are the things, that's what I mean by quality of life, okay? Those diseases can shorten your life, but they can also bring down the quality of your life. If you're not able to do the things that you love to do, that's a lower quality of life. So, Marshall students, I know that's a lot of information. I've talked a long time. If you are still with me after 40 minutes of talking about sugar, congratulations. I appreciate you hanging in there, okay? Again, there's our sugar. Watch your added sugar, okay, guys? And one last thing before I go is stay active every day, okay? Thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll talk to you this week at Zoom PE, okay? All right, bye.